How does that happen twice in the same minute of a professional hockey game? Hi, I'm Dan Kingerski on the Pittsburgh Hockey Now platforms, YouTube and Facebook. The Penguins just get run out of Amalie Arena here on Tuesday night in Tampa, 6-1 the final. I am sure most of you didn't stay for the end. In fact, there was literally no reason to. Sidney Crosby picks up a singular point later in the third period, and you're kind of thinking, oh no, don't do it tonight, Sid. Don't break Wayne Gretzky's 19 season with at least a point per game record. Not tonight. You hate to say it, but fortunately, Crosby didn't break the record Tuesday. Instead, we can focus on a pair of storylines. There were really two we're going to focus on here in the Penguins postgame because it's a continuation, a stacking of this abysmal stench that envelops the back end of the Penguins lineup. The defensemen are collectively probably the worst troop in the NHL, and they made no effort to disprove that on Tuesday. The first couple of goals were fluky, bad luck, maybe some loose coverage by the Penguins forwards. Sidney Crosby's line, Sid took some blame for one of the first couple of goals. The second one bounces off the backside of Rickard Rakell into the net. Okay, it's 2-0. That's bad luck. The game certainly isn't over. That's when the Penguins defensemen, twice in 48 seconds, made just unbelievably absent-minded decisions in the defensive zone coverage. And I don't just mean, he should have been here instead of there. I mean, first-year players should know. Matt Grzelcyk doesn't cover Anthony Cirelli on the left flank. Triple covered the puck. Erik Karlsson, Matt Grzelcyk, and Connor Dewar all converge on Braden Point, leaving Cirelli on the left. He must have been like, what is going on? Grzelcyk races over, forces the shot. It could have been stopped by Tristan Jarry, but it wasn't, so now it's 3-0. Okay, terrible mistake. Penguins gather, right? Wrong. 48 seconds later, Connor Timmins literally makes the exact same mistake in the exact same spot at the defensive blue line. Once again, the Penguins triple cover the puck carrier coming across the blue line on the right wall. Triple coverage. Timmins doesn't see Jake Gensel, of all people. Jarry this time stops the first shot. Erik Karlsson, in a unique way to defend, bear hugs. He bear hugged Braden Point. Well, Point, has his hands free, pokes the rebound into the net. And after that, it was the Penguins who needed a hug. It's 4-0. Any semblance of play or energy or desire or want to had completely evaporated. So let's circle back here. This was another time the Pittsburgh Penguins got an unscheduled day off and completely failed to show up the following day. Now, Sidney Crosby said, no. When you get a day off this time of year, you use it for the rest and to recuperate. Nothing to do one with the other. The totality of the evidence, however, this season would suggest the exact opposite. When the Penguins are given time away from the rink, when the Penguins are given a day off, they come back a completely different team. It's like somebody just scrubs the whiteboard clean and they come back like newbies and they get exposed. They were absolutely exposed by Tampa on Tuesday. You almost wonder how a team could assemble such a mismatched blue line. Because we've hit Matt Grzelcyk and Connor Timmins and a bit Erik Karlsson. Ryan Graves had himself, what's the opposite of having yourself a game? Ryan Graves somehow avoided being directly caught in the storm. He was a flat even despite the 6-1 score. But he was undressed by Braden Point at the blue line. Oh, that was ugly. The number of failed clears, lost puck battles on the wall, not getting to his spots on the wall so Tampa would keep possession and be able to attack. It was startling, almost. The two Penguins defensemen who actually had decent games, believe it or not, it wasn't... Vladislav Kolyachonok had maybe his best game as a Penguin, believe it or not. He was physical at one point in the first period, crushing a couple guys on the wall, really contesting puck possession. That's what you want to see from him. He's quick enough. He's big enough to do those sorts of things. You want to see a whole lot more of that from him. Chris Letang was the other defenseman I thought was quite solid on Tuesday. Letang's game, side note here, Letang's game is morphing. It's morphing from that guy who's wanted to jump into the play, sometimes made really silly mistakes to do so, pinching at the wrong time, so on and so forth. I see Letang wising up, if that seems a harsh term, but playing more in the defensive zone, playing more of a stay-at-home role, trying to balance the chaos that is swirling around the Penguins' defensemen. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Somebody has to do it, and Letang is taking it upon himself to do that. Now, the Penguins go to Buffalo. They've got Buffalo on Thursday night, completing this 3-game road trip. Perhaps Sidney Crosby, he needs just one more point. Maybe Crosby breaks Gretzky's 19-season record up there. Hopefully it's not the abysmal sort of record night that it would have been tonight. It's kind of... I think what Utah beat the Penguins 6-1 earlier this season, that was the night Crosby scored goal number 600. I was kind of glad that he didn't do it tonight. So from Tampa, I got nothing else for this. I mean, the Penguins own the rights to all but one of their defensemen for next season. Only Grzelcyk is not under contract or his rights owned by the Penguins for next season. That really isn't a selling point. It should not be a selling point to Kyle Dubas or to Mike Sullivan going forward. This blue line needs a complete, total, and utter overhaul. No team can be remotely successful with the game they get from the back end. And that's not to say the guys are bad players. It is to say that collectively it's just an absolutely terrible mix. And on nights like tonight, when the goalie doesn't bail them out, as Tristan Jarry and Alex Nedeljkovic have done over the last 7 games, when the Penguins were 5-1-1, tonight the goalies didn't bail them out. And those are the results more often than not. So from Amalie Arena, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and I'll put the tip jar here too. These travels starting to beat us up a little bit, and I'm not ashamed to say, hey, could use a little bit of help for all these videos and all the stuff we plan to do for the rest of the season, and then after the season in Wilkes-Barre too. All right. Thanks, kids. Have fun. Enjoy the sunshine back in Pittsburgh. I'll see you in a few days.